Hey, what's happening, family? It's your man, Mark Black. You know what time it is. Welcome. Welcome to Sucka-Free Saturday. Fam, it's been a minute, and I have to say that I'm glad as hell to be chopping it up with y'all today. I hope everybody is doing well. Um, we are in a new time, a new era, the era of the Rona, right? Um, and we have a lot to discuss. There's a few things that I want to talk about. Um, and bring up some topics, just some things to address. But then I'm just gonna open it up, fam. I want to hear from you. I want to hear, your concerns, your worries, your questions. This is gonna be our broadcast today, as it always is, but it's going to be all about you today, fam. I know many of you are worried, concerned, having to, stay at home, stay in place. I wouldn't be surprised if people are viewing today that may be self quarantining or self isolating. I'm letting you know right up front that I'm here for you, that I'm here to support you, to uplift you, to help you to reduce your stress during this time of trial. Uh, that's what we're here for. So I'm glad to have the opportunity to do that. Fam, as per usual, there are links in the description field of every video to resources, reports, things like that. In light of the current circumstances of people's finances being funny, if you feel like you can contribute, because I do have a powerful need to eat sometime this month, you could help me do that. But in light of that, if you don't, I'm not worried about it. I never worry about it anyway, fam. I never go ham saying, click the links, give me the donations. No, if you can contribute. It's definitely appreciated, especially in this time. But if you cannot, your family comes first. Take care of business, okay? Um, so with that said, let me shout out everybody in the chat. If you're, following me on Twitter and you're new to watching my broadcast, one of the rules I have is if you come over to the house, knock on the door and let us know you're here. You don't have to necessarily participate in the chat or whatever the case may be, but just pop your name in the chat and let us know that you're here so we can shout you out. All right. So shout out to Darker Visions. Shout out to Miss Denny. By the way, thank you, Miss Denny.
Welcome back, Blackoutcast. We missed you. Lol.
Thank you, Miss Diddy. I appreciate it, and I appreciate the love. Thank you so much for that. Shout out to my brother Monty, Black Man 903. What it do, fam? What it do? Beloved sister Alexis is in the house. All right, Sister Alma is in the house. Sister Taj is in the house. Cool Unc, I see you, fam. I know you've been waiting for this broadcast, fam. Shout out to you. Welcome to the broadcast. So let's get started. Like I said, I just got a few things that I would like to address to get the conversation going. This isn't going to be a long, monologue. I don't really, or a long kind of commentary. I don't really feel like that's warranted today. I just have a few things that I would like to touch on, some topics I'd like to bring up to get the conversation started. But it's on y'all today, right? So I expect y'all to call in when the number comes up, and let's do this, right? The first thing that I want to address is I'm gonna try not to say I told y'all so, right? But I wanted to emphasize in my broadcast addressing the virus in the room, I wanted to address the fact that coronavirus, this novel coronavirus, this new strain, was not going to be no joke. It wasn't going to be anything to sneeze at, right? Um, there are those of you out there who, for various reasons, either discounted the whole thing, basically saying that, hey, it's a joke. It's something that the United States is just trying to use to get more power over people, this, that, and the third. There are those of you out there who are on conspiracy theories, talking about the shit's patented and is generated in a lab. We're going to address some of that. But I just want you to understand that whether or not you believe in any type of conspiracy regarding the novel coronavirus or not, we now understand, fam, this ain't no joke. This isn't bullshit. It's not a joke, right? Many thousands of people around the world have lost their lives already due to complications from their infection with coronavirus. Italy is decimated. I believe at this point China is probably still lying about the effects of the novel coronavirus in their country. We here in America are still seeing small numbers because we haven't had the capability to test people, to truly test to see who's been infected and who's not. Once those tests start to ramp up, do not be surprised when you see the numbers go from a few 10,000 of us infected to hundreds of thousands of us infected. Now, this doesn't mean that you should panic or that it's somehow, just blown up. The fact is that the novel coronavirus, from what we do understand, is highly infectious. It has a long incubation period, meaning people could be spreading it but be asymptomatic. This is a viral mutation that was that was tailor-made to spread. No pun intended. I'm not trying to foster no conspiracy theories. I'm only using tailor-made as a euphemism. But this thing is built to do what it's doing, right? And it's doing it well. Those numbers of us that are truly infected with this shit is only going to go up. And this also means that over time, the number of deaths and severe illnesses from it is also going to go up. And we need to be prepared mentally, emotionally for that. With that in mind, fam, I want to talk a little bit about the panic that's set in. Because what we've seen is people run out and buy up a bunch of products, empty the store shelves. I tried as best I could, fam, in February to get us to a place of alertness, of awareness, but no fear. Fear is not going to help us through the time of the coronavirus, fam. It's not. What is going to help us is focusing on getting as much information as we can and acting on that information. You know that politicians spin shit. You know that the pale stream media spin shit. But not everything that comes out of their mouths is a lie. We, my beautiful people, my tribes people, we have to learn discernment. You cannot build effective action off of conjecture and conspiracy. Let's say, for example, fam, that the novel coronavirus was created in a lab and it was patented back in 2015 or whatever the case may be, and has been put out into the public. Okay, let's say that the people that are espousing this idea, this view, are 100% correct. That the coronavirus is a bioengineered weapon from a lab, either in China or America, take your pick, because the conspiracy theorists can't decide which one is which one is true. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that it's true. What does that change about what we need to be doing or what we can do to help mitigate, ameliorate the effects of the novel coronavirus? Well, how does that change what it is that we have to do as individuals, as families, as communities, as a tribe, ultimately as a nation, ultimately as a globe? What does that change? Knowing that bit of information, assuming it's true, what changes about what needs to be done? I would argue nothing. So why are we then spending all this time addressing where it came from? Don't get me wrong. I understand those people that are talking about it's the China virus. I truly believe that China has got hell to tell the captain when we make it on the other side of this shit. China needs to be held responsible. on the world scene and by every nation on this planet. And if nothing else, fam, what we've learned is that there this whole globalist shit where the whole world is tied together in one big ass food chain ain't worked. How does it feel, brothers and sisters, to know that our entire supply chain was dependent upon China for so fucking long? That you were kept out of work. You were told that there was no jobs available for you so that we can hand H-1B visas and EB visas to rich Chinese who are connected to the CCP, to Indians and Pakistanis and shit. Fam, you don't even have to allege conspiracy. You don't even have to be talking about Bill Gates and motherfucking Agenda 21s and all this shit to have a reason to be pissed off. If you were looking for a reason to be angry, you've got plenty enough. The Democrats and the Republicans, through the espousing of globalist ideas and rhetoric, opened up our borders, handed jobs, opportunities, and so on to everybody and their mama but us. And now in the era of Rona, we find ourselves in the crazy place of having to be dependent upon a nation that didn't even want the world to know that this shit was out there. China took the doctor that discovered the novel coronavirus and made him sign documentation that he was lying. By the way, the man's dead. From what? From complications of the novel coronavirus that he spent the rest of his life trying to stop the spread of. May he rest. And yet, China's supposed to be the supply chain, the breadbasket for the fucking world. Yeah. They put the lie to that shit. All these corporations trying to sell you electronics and cell phones and medical equipment, this, that, and the third, hyping it up to American prices without paying us American wages and getting the shit manufactured in China. If you want a reason to be upset, fam, you got all the reason in the world to be sharpening your pitchforks at this point. You don't need to allege conspiracy at this point to have a reason to want to see some motherfuckers hang. Now that people are being ordered, by the way, shout out to Mr. Lou. Shout out to Sister Sylvia. Welcome to the broadcast, fam. Glad to have you. Shout out to Mate and Dead, by the way. Good to see you, fam. Now that the governments of our country are ordering us or asking that we stay in place, that we self-isolate, that we self-quarantine, there are people right now who are losing their jobs. And it's a goddamn travesty. The Fed has made it clear that they're going to do whatever is necessary, up to $1 trillion a day, even if it's required, to support business. So again, in our country, big business reigns fucking supreme. JJ, good evening to you as well, fam. Welcome to the broadcast. Meanwhile, the lousy ass Congress passes a milquetoast ass stimulus package that offers paid leave to people with jobs that might be affected during this time and throws even more money at business. Meanwhile, you have senators who are sitting in on secret meetings. Shout out and peace to my brother John. Namaste to you. And as soon as they hear the truth of what we can expect to see with the outbreak of the novel coronavirus, first thing they do is contact their motherfucking brokers and buy and sell shares of stock. If you looking for reasons, fam, to be angry, you don't need to allege conspiracy. You don't need to make shit up. When you got sitting senators dumping stock right before the biggest fucking hit the stock market has seen in decades. When you got senators buying up shares in telecom and telework companies and shit like that after attending these meetings that somehow we never get privy to the information from. You don't need to allege any type of conspiracy or to make up any reasons for you to be thinking about building guillotines. Right now, as it stands, Americans are getting fuck all from our government. The Republican leadership led by Moscow Mitch in the Senate was so shook by the fact that they had to pass that weak ass stimulus that they've jumped up in the front of the line to have a say on what comes next. But don't think it's just the Republicans that are fucking you. The Democrats, led by the arch bastard Chuck Schumer, are wanting to means test you to death. They're wanting to add provisos and fine print and quid pro quos in a time when every American needs assistance. Now, I'm not going to cape too hard for the fact that everybody needs assistance, but I'm not going to deny it either. Every American at this point needs to have a whack at weathering the storm of this shit. That's not me playing Superman to acknowledge that. I don't have to be caping for white folks and Asians and everybody else to acknowledge the truth of a matter. But if you, my beloved, angry black sheep, were needing a reason to be angry, you don't need to allege conspiracy. You don't need to make shit up. Because they've been telling us all this time that our justice claim is untenable. It's divisive. It's unreasonable. Can't be done. Until the novel coronavirus shows up. Now money just appears out of the goddamn thin blue. All these people that sat around and told us that we're just lazy, shiftless, no good Negroes who, if we would just fucking work harder, if we would just study more, if we would just have some financial literacy, if we would get off the plantation and become entrepreneurs, those same fuckers right now are petitioning the government for aid and assistance to keep their enterprises and businesses open. What happened to pulling yourself up by your bootstraps? What happened to competition, the free market? Rise, sink, or swim on the strength of your product, your brand, and your services and your name. You got the airline industry. You got all of these other corporations and industries that when the Fed was handing out free money like the shit was candy, spent all of their stimulus money buying back their stock and artificially inflating the price of it, increasing the valuation of their companies. Now nobody can go to work And you got the airports, the airline industry asking for $50 billion to bail themselves out. What happened to bootstraps? What happened to get it how you get it? What happened to unfettered, full-on, free market capitalism? If you wanted a reason, fam, to be pissed off, if you were looking for somebody to blame, you don't have to make up a conspiracy. There's enough blame to go the fuck around. And meanwhile, you and I, they debating on whether or not to cut us checks, but based off of 2008 taxes, and the people that made less get less. And so people that didn't work in 2018 may not get nothing. And we better make sure that we're not giving it to everybody, because, you know, we don't want to further empower the rich. So we need to have the means to determine who's truly needy and who's truly not. Led by the bitch Nancy Pelosi, led by fucking Chuck Schumer, led by Moscow Mitch. Because remember, family, fuckery from the United States government is always bipartisan. They can be as different as night and day until it comes time to enrich their pockets, to maintain the prerogatives of white supremacy. Then there's united as the fist. Both of them fine and look. America right now, your government, your and my government is actually looking for ways to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. Now I know what you're thinking. What about Donald Trump? That son of a bitch knew about this shit in January and did nothing. That's the rhetoric. Donald Trump could have been on top of this shit forever ago, and he left us hanging. I watched the presser where Donald Trump said, I want money to go out to the people. Get me legislation I can sign that can get money out to the American people, and it will be signed. No hesitation, no question, no dithering, no bullshit. He said we weren't informed fully of the scope by the Chinese, which was true. That came out, that the Chinese hid this shit. People say, well, the government knew about the possibility of a pandemic. The government, the deep state, knows about the possibility of everything. When you got people that work from administration to administration, they got models and plans and shit to cover everything from alien invasion to zombie fucking viruses to pandemics. That does not necessarily mean that the president of the United States knew about that shit. And the man can only act on the information he knows. And meanwhile, the information that we as Americans need, which is twofold. First, what can we do as individuals, families, communities, cities, states, and as a nation? What can we do to help mitigate, minimize the impact of the novel coronavirus on our nation? That's number one. And number two, what can the government do to assist us in this matter? Those questions aren't being asked by the pale stream media. Instead, they're going in there and asking him, people are scared. What do you got to say about it? The same shit he's been saying, that he's optimistic, that America is strong, that we've came through shit, that we can fight. Donald Trump has been saying the same fucking thing. He's been saying, listen to the CBC, listen to people like Dr. Fauci, listen to the goddamn Surgeon General, wash your hands, stay away from people who are sick. We didn't have the test. They admitted that. He said, but we're ramping that up. We're getting those tests out to people. What the fuck else can this man do? He's saying, give us legislation. Give me legislation I can sign across my desk right now, and it will happen. And he's telling Congress what he wants. But you got the Democrats and the Republicans dithering back and forth. But it's not the ones you suspect. To show you the strange era, fam, that we live in, Mitt Romney turns out to be one of the most progressive motherfuckers in the country. Make that shit make sense. Mitt fucking Romney. This man, Mitt Romney, said the American people need assistance. We need to not be means testing people. Start cutting checks now. Mitt fucking Romney. Yeah, John, he said it's a hoax, or I think he said it was a hoax. I haven't kept up on everything that Trump has said. But one thing I do know is this. He turned the shit around quick. Say what you will, right? I'll grant you, those of you who say that Donald Trump talked about that this was a hoax and that he didn't believe in this shit at first, I get you. Because Donald Trump's language initially was on some fuckboy shit. But man, I'm not going to lie. Watching daily presser after presser, I do it so you don't have to, right? Watching daily presser after presser and watching the motherfucking media try to spin every single thing that comes out of the president's mouth to some negative spin. That shit would make me angry. If I was the president of the United States, fam, I would be like, fuck you, press. I can't say that I'm optimistic because then you'll say that I'm giving out bad information. If I say that I don't trust it, I don't understand everything that's going on, you say I'm incompetent. The motherfucker can't win. Even if you think Donald Trump is the shittiest president, and you'd be cracked, by the way, if you think Donald Trump is the shittiest fucking president that we've ever had. But even if you think that Donald Trump is the shittiest president that we've ever had, in this current time, in the time of the Rona, he's the president we got. Now, we can either work to try to see to it that the president gets the pressure that he needs to be able to do the shit he needs to do or wants to do, or we don't. That's the way the system is set up. Hell, the greatest motherfucking president in American history, according to white folk, FDR, he couldn't right away come out with all the New Deal shit. FDR was like, Congress is trying to slit my throat and yours too. So if you want a new deal, make me do it. Put pressure on these goddamn traitorous bastards sitting in the motherfucking House and the Senate and make them put some legislation across my desk that will make me do it. It's true. I'm not caping for Trump. You don't have to like the man. You don't have to think that he's, that he's not racist and he's not this, and I don't care about any of that shit. Whether you like the man or not, whether you think he's racist or not, whether you agree with his politics or not, he's the president you got. And he's constantly indicated a willingness to be able to shift, to change things around. Once he got that information from that report that said if we do nothing, we can estimate anywhere from 2.5 to upwards of close to 5 million Americans dead, he changed the whole goddamn story. He wasn't the only one. Over in the UK, Britain Under Boris Johnson said, whoa, wait, what the fuck? We need to change some shit up. So it wasn't like Trump was the only leader on the planet who was thinking maybe we got this. Maybe it's not as bad as we thought it was. He's who we got. So all this fire, shade, and smoke, everybody asking you to throw at Trump, fuck that. Trump's only the executive. Trump does what the motherfucking legislature tells him to do. What you need to be doing is calling for the heads of those sons of bitches that sold and bought stock using insider information. I don't want them to resign. I want them prosecuted and tried for treason. I want the death sentence. I bet you if we kill us a few of these motherfuckers, the rest of the people in Congress will get the goddamn message that America ain't playing. We need to be redirecting our efforts at the bastards who are directly responsible for where it is that we are, for what we're about to face. And that is the people that's sitting in Congress that's supposed to represent us that are doing a fucking shitty job of doing it. At this point, I could care less about what you think about Trump. You have a direct possibility to truly affect what America looks like on the other side of this crisis. Let me remind my angry black sheep, because we talk about the etymology of words all the time. Let me remind you, my angry black sheep, what crisis is. Crisis comes from the Latin word crux, a crossroads, a cross. We are at a point of deciding a new path. There will be no return to normal. Matter of fact, if you're a member of our tribe, why would you want to return back to normal? America right now is ripe for change, and this is good. If you are a descendant of the enslaved in America, sitting here talking about, I just want things to go back to normal, you need the taste slapped out of your motherfucking mouth. Our ancestors prayed for times like these. Our ancestors prayed for days like these. Fuck normal. Normal will be what we say it will be moving forward. Moving forward, the pressure for our justice claim is only going to increase. It is only going to become harder. We are only going harder in the paint. We are only going more fiery. We are only going more in their face. We are only speaking more truth to more power. That is the new normal. We ain't shutting up no more. We're not begging nobody for a damn thing. We see that they can just go and honor our justice claim tomorrow using the current mechanisms that they have in place. They could cut us checks tomorrow, direct deposit into every descendant of the enslaved's account. So they don't get to tell me shit about my justice claim no more. They don't get to tell me nothing about reparations no more. This is the new normal. We will have the normal we fight for. All of you worried about martial law. Let me talk to you for a minute about this martial law shit. Fam, I'm a veteran. Served in the United States Army during the first Persian Gulf. stationed in Fort Lewis, Washington, attached to 129th Signal Battalion, 30th Military Intelligence Brigade, 1st Corps, I Corps. I was a commo trooper, basically a grunt with a big ass $30 million telephone. Let me talk to you a second about martial law. If we were under martial law right now, you would not have to be conjecturing about it. You wouldn't have to be equivocating. You wouldn't have to say, this is like martial law. Oh shit, look, it's martial law. No, you would know. Let me tell you how you would know. First of all, the few times that America has been under martial law has been under the cases of major rebellions and issues in this country. There's been a few times. The very first thing that you would see if we were under martial law would be the suspension of habeas corpus. What the fuck is that, Brother Black? Habeas corpus is what allows you to be freed from detention at the hands of the state. So you get arrested, right? You get detained and arrested. You go to jail. Okay? What happens is to get you out, right? To make the state prove that they have a right to hold you, your lawyer will submit for a writ of habeas corpus. Habeas corpus in Latin means literally who has the body, right? If they cannot justify a reason for holding you under habeas corpus, they have to let you go. They cannot detain you. They cannot keep you. But in the case of the suspension of habeas corpus, the government doesn't need to prove shit to hold you. They don't need to establish nothing. They don't need to allege anything, and they don't have to prove anything. They can put hands on you, lock you the fuck up, and there you are. So the suspension of habeas corpus would be one of the first, if not the first sign that we were being under martial law. And I'm not talking about involuntary detention because of you being a danger to yourself, like, a 72-hour psych hold or something like that. No, I mean the suspension across the board of everyone's ability to get out of the hands of any government enforcement apparatus that gets hands on you. That would be number one. That would be number one. Toolbox said that they're trying to run something through that suspends habeas corpus. If they do, we'll address it at that point. Because yes, that would be a first step towards us being under martial law. But from what I saw, Sister Toolbox, it's not suspending habeas corpus. What it will do is expand the government's capability to enforce quarantines. That's different. The government always has the capability, by the way, to do this. For all of you tripping about martial law, the government doesn't even need a reason to suspend habeas corpus. They could just do it. Now, people, of course, can challenge the government's right to do it by going to court, but in the meanwhile, habeas corpus is suspended. You're done. That's number one. Number two, you would stop hearing from politicians on TV. That's right. Over a period of time, what you would see is that you'd see less politicians talking. Well, who the hell would be talking to us then? Who would be giving us information? Generals would. That's right. Under martial law, generals would be in charge. You'd see somebody up there with 1, 2, 3, 4 stars on. standing next to a few full birds, couple of captains, and they would be talking. If we were under martial law, not only would the generals be talking, they wouldn't be asking you anything. That's right. They wouldn't be saying, we suggest that if you're able to stay at home, please stay at home. If you're able to stay in place, please stay in place. If you are sick, stay away from your family members and self-quarantine. Please practice social distancing. You wouldn't be hearing that from them. As a veteran, as an Army veteran and a soldier, you don't get suggestions in the military. You get orders. So the generals would be saying to us via the media, this is going to happen, 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 etc., etc. And there will be no asking. There will be no suggestions. They will be ordering you. And not only would they be ordering you, but they will tell you to your face the consequences of violating those orders. Because in the military, if you disobey an order, there are definite consequences. The consequences can be as minor as physical punishment, like making you do push-ups or whatever, to locking you up in the brig and charging you, court-martialing you. Administrative punishments like Article 15s and shit like that. The military does not give suggestions. The military does not ask you to do anything. You receive your orders and you will execute those orders. Only we're civilians. But this is martial law. When the military is in charge, nobody gives a fuck that you're a civilian. You will be ordered to do what the military needs you to do. And you will obey. Because if we were under martial law, if you disobey an order, they don't have to arrest you. Nowadays, if you go out and you don't self-isolate, stay at home, stay in place, people might throw shade at you. If the cops see you, they might fuck with you. Although most cops is trying to avoid us, like, no pun intended, the plague. Under martial law, that won't be the case. They will give times that you can maneuver, and they mean maneuver, to different places. You will have set times. Stores and other locales will be open at set points. When you go there, you will stand in queues X number of feet apart. You will do it. You will be there only during these times, and there will be curfews that you will have to be in place, out of sight, during these times. That's how martial law works. If you violate that, don't expect that you have rights. At least, not the rights you thought you had. They don't have to arrest you. You violate a quarantine in an area that is under the control of the United States military, whether it's soldier, sailor, airman, or marine, they will shoot your motherfucking ass. And they won't even offer an explanation for it. You're dead. That's it. So all of this bullshit about we see tanks rolling in, oh, it's about to be martial law. Come on, fam. I can promise you that if we were in any way close to martial law, you wouldn't have to guess. You would know. What you're seeing in some locales is the National Guard being activated. Now, what does the National Guard activations mean? Well, it means now that the state governors have bodies and boots on the ground that they can point to do different shit and know that their orders will be obeyed. Rather than waiting for volunteers to come out and help distribute food or help manage traffic or so on and so forth, the governor now has a labor resource that they can count on to provide people with access to resources and safety and protection. This is what the fuck the National Guard is for. During natural disasters, during outbreaks and pandemics. Fam, do you know what a disrespect you are showing to fellow citizens who volunteered to step up to serve you in the Guard by claiming that they're coming to try and kill you? Are you serious? These people train to be able to provide you assistance in times when you cannot assist yourself. They not only look at it as their duty, but they look at it as their honor and their responsibility. And yes, there are racists in the military. There's racists everywhere in America. But there's also your brothers and sisters that serve in the Guard too. They now will be the ones out there putting their lives at risk for you. Rushing headlong into areas where outbreaks are, where people are sick, some people might be dying, and so on and so forth. And you have the unfucking mitigated gall to claim that because they've been activated, that your rights are being snatched away from you. You know what? What fucks me up, fam, is that the vast majority of Americans don't have no problem with giving their motherfucking rights away anyway. We saw that after 9/11. The fact that they was able to push through the motherfucking Patriot Act and there wasn't immediately millions of motherfucking Americans out on the goddamn streets burning this motherfucker down lets me know y'all don't care about your rights. Besides, you only have the rights that you're willing and able to defend. If you're unwilling, then you don't want those rights anyway. And if you're unable, all the crying, bitching, complaining, moaning, pissing, boo-hooing ain't going to protect you anyway. So why you sitting up here panicking about Newsom in California, whatever, activating the National Guard, or Cuomo activating the National Guard? First of all, that's what the National Guard is there for. They're trained for this type of shit. They look for opportunities to be able to do this for their fellow citizens. This is what they signed up for, fam. This is what they signed up for on the dotted line, to be able to be called at a moment's notice and put their ass, their livelihood, their bodies, everything online, on risk for you. And they need equipment to do it. So they're going to be rolling out in Humvees. They're going to be rolling out in MRAPs and shit like that. Why? Because they have to. They're also soldiers, but they're citizen soldiers. They're not conscripts. They're not draftees. These people signed up for the opportunity to do this for you. The only thing you should be thinking, if you're a sane, rational person, when you see the motherfuckers got they vehicles maneuvering and setting up shop and all of that, the only thing you need to be saying is thank you. They're putting their ass on the line so you don't have to. All this conspiracy mongering and just dumb shit has been driving me up the wall, fam, for the last week. Seriously, I've been so outraged and angry at some of the shit that I've seen, not from the government. I expect fuckery from the government. I expect dumb shit from the government. Not from white folks. I expect dumb shit from them. But we gotta be better than this. Scaring the shit out of our people, talking about conspiracy theories, making up shit. I watched for weeks as we talked about the magic melanin molecule in our skin making us immune to coronavirus. And then we start seeing black people dying from it. And all those same bastards that was talking about we were immune are now suddenly as silent as the motherfucking grave. And all these motherfuckers that were telling us that all we need to do is just get off the motherfucking plantation, stop working at these jobs and start a business. Now they business is in the toilet because guess what? Everybody at home and they ain't got no motherfucking money. Now they want to sing a different tune. People like Boyce Watkins, dumbass, talking about, oh, the coronavirus the government is it's a conspiracy. Now all of a sudden he wants to talk sense. Fam, we don't need more fucking fear. We need discernment. We need wisdom. Thank you. And oh my God, they're going crazy on the immigrants and the foreign flags and all this. I couldn't care less what foreign flag Twitter or any other immigrant motherfucker has to say what's happening right now. I'm an American. I'm worried about the policies that are coming out of the motherfucking Congress, how those treacherous thieving bastards are trying to slit our throats. And I'm worried about my people. That's it. My tribe first and my nation second. I couldn't give a fuck less what anybody from anywhere else has to say about anything. Anything. I don't care about the diaspora. I don't care about the motherland. I don't give a fuck about none of them. I don't have time for beef with those fools. We need discernment. We need to have our eyes open, our minds clear, our hearts pure, and our claws sharp. We don't need to be caping for Asians and trying to fight their battles. Them motherfuckers were the model minorities for decades. They were more white than white folks until coronavirus showed up. Now they're getting there. I hate to see it. But where were they when our brother Kai Gurley got shot down by Peter Lang? He was on the side of the pigs. Where were they when we were trying to fight for equal access to jobs and education and government contracts? Oh, that's right. They've been trying to kill affirmative action. So guess what? I got nothing. If white people start whiting on Asians, what the fuck does that got to do with me? Nothing. I don't have to hate them. But I'm not going to sit here and waste my motherfucking time and my energy that I need to devote on making sure that my people are safe, that my people feel secure, that my people get information that they need, that my people have what they need to be caping for other motherfuckers. I don't care about the foreigners. I don't care about the goddamn I don't care about ICE. I don't care about none of them. Deport every one of them bastards you want at this point. I don't give. I wanted that anyway. Get rid of them. Get rid of them. Didn't they just have a raid? I think it was somewhere down in Florida recently. What was it? A Coke food plant? Getting rid of all these motherfucking illegal immigrants that was down there working. The next day, they had signs up for 100 jobs so that my people can come in there and get them goddamn jobs. You know what, fam? I'm going to tell you something. You want to talk about the new normal? Let's talk about the new normal. In the new normal, America ain't going to be the world's motherfucking policeman no more. America ain't going to be the world's motherfucking savior no more. Y'all think that y'all can get it all on your own, that you don't need American protection, you don't need to honor or respect America and Americans. That's fine. We going to do for self. We going to take care of our own shit over here. We're going to bring our motherfucking troops home. We're going to bring our ships home. You think you can protect the shipping lanes with a motherfucking aircraft carrier made from a casino? You go right ahead. We'll bring our battle fleets back here. We'll bring our resources back here. We'll end these bullshit lopsided ass trade agreements that was letting the whole world get access to raw resources that they could turn into motherfucking finished products and boost their economies at our expense. We've been eating the failure of the whole motherfucking planet. ADOS, us, the descendants of the enslaved in America have been eating America's failure, but America's been eating everybody's failure since World War II. Watch what happens when we tell the whole motherfucking world that they gotta hold their own nuts. Toolbox said, what do we think what will happen to Congress's plan of pursuing the illegal immigrant vote? No, it's not. They're going to always try to find a way. That's why we need to continue to bring the heat. Fam, this is a great time to be us. Like I said, our ancestors dreamed of days like this, where we actually could work together to provide leverage and heat to start snatching back, to start clawing justice from this country, this wretched country that is taking it from us. This is our motherfucking time. But as long as we're caught up in bullshit ass beefs with people we don't need to even be talking to, worried about people's opinions from motherfuckers who ain't even qualified to speak, caught up in bullshit ass conspiracy theories and fear mongering, we can't do the needful. We can't be the effective advocates for our people in this time of crisis, this time of decisions that will ultimately make the new normal. We have a chance right now to help decide what the new normal will be. I saw a Republican sister saying Trump is looking to sign anything that's going to benefit people that comes across his desk. This was a Republican, a conservative sister who said, so where's our advocates who's trying to throw legislation or an executive order across Trump's desk for our justice claim? That's the type of thinking I want to see. That's the type of shit I'm on. The Chinese ideogram for chaos is a combination of danger and opportunity. Chaos is danger plus opportunity. The rich white folks is going to always try to take advantage of the opportunity, fam. They dumping stock, manipulating the stock markets and shit. Trying to fob off on us bullshit legislation that don't take care of everybody. Trying to tell us that up is down, down is up, right is left, left is right. They're going to always do that. That don't stop us from doing what we need to do. Black man, I don't remember the sister. She was on Twitter, but I know she follows me. And she's a Republican. She's a conservative Republican sister. The whole rest of the world can go fucking hang. Let them hold their own nuts. I'm not heartless. I feel bad for what's happened in Italy. Good luck to the motherfuckers. We live in a time of danger and opportunity, a chance unlike any other to create the new normal. We don't have to go back to the old normal. All you motherfuckers that voted for Joe Biden in the primaries, y'all ought to feel real stupid right now. Where's Joe? He can defeat Trump, This motherfucker can't even get a webcam working. There's a whole lot of people, like I said, fam, when we talked about this a month or two ago, I said there's a whole lot of folk whose narratives have been weighed, measured, and found wanting. There's a whole lot of folk who done had the bullshit stripped away. Where's Joe at? He's supposed to be angling to be our next president. I expect to see his ass here 24/7. He can't even get a damn webcam working. Fam, this is what we need to be on right now for the sake and the interest of all Americans. Our justice claim comes first. I know that. I know that. I am not telling you to go out and cape for everybody in America. Fuck that. Our justice claim comes first. All right. We also need to be pushing for Congress to not be means testing, fine printing us to death. Get money out to the people. We need to be pushing in our local jurisdictions, state jurisdictions, as well as on the federal level for moratoriums, not suspensions, moratoriums on rent collection, mortgage collection, utility payments, and so on and so forth. We need to be willing to go out in the streets. And I'm not talking about on no protest shit, on no begging shit. No, I'm talking about be willing to go out to the streets and put in work. Because if we do this right, we change everything. There can be no return to the old way, not in the era of the Rona. We need to be talking to each other about the specific shit for legislation that includes everybody in, nobody out. Not shit designed to help small business, to help the working class. That's all gimmies to white folks and people with jobs. I just read a report that says that we can expect unemployment, the official unemployment rate, because of Rona, to go upwards of 20%. Now, since we know that officially our people's unemployment rate trends always as double the official employment rate, that means that in the next few months to maybe a year or better, we, as the descendant of the enslaved in the United States of America, can expect to see upwards of 40 to maybe even 50% of our people without work. But they talking about make sure to give money to the workers. No. You let Congress do that. You and I will watch our families starve. No fucking means testing. Make it universal. Look, I don't care if Bezos get a check for $4,000 in the mail. That's nothing to him. You want to find a way to make Bezos pay it back later, do it. But that $4,000 check in the hands of us who are without jobs, who ain't working, could mean the difference between us maintaining our place to live, us having food in the refrigerator, us having safe babies, us being able to stay in place, us being able to honor self-quarantine, and thus flatten the curve of this shit, and not. We cannot waver. We cannot waver. This is not the time to be milquetoast in your advocacy. This is not the time to be bitch made. This is not the time to be trying to dither, hem and haw, or none of that shit. We either go hard or shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear any more bullshit about hair. I don't want to hear any more bullshit about people talking about having to be at home with your kids. You know what? Some of you motherfuckers don't deserve kids. Bitching and complaining that you got to actually listen to your motherfucking kids and help them to learn something while they out of school. Oh, the horror. I got no sympathy for you. Told you, whole lot of narratives got washed up. A lot of people been using schools as basically babysitting facilities. Now you face to face with kids you don't even know. And a lot of you don't even like. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the little black babies that have to be at home with some of these parents during the era of the Rona. I really do. These little kids are gonna get fucked up. They're getting beaten, they're getting disrespected, getting dogged. You gotta take care of these babies. And another thing, fam, before I open up the lines, I just have one more thing I want to talk about. I'm certain other topics will come up, but I just have one more thing that I want to say. There's a contingent among us. We know them as rise and grind, you know, the hustle mind, right? Hustle mind, social media, rise and grind, Twitter, who is trying to tell you that, hey, simply because you off from work, don't mean you got to be off from work. You could be trying to create a side hustle. Fam, may your beloved brother suggest to you that to everything there is a season. There's a time to work and there's a time to rest. Fam, get your rest up. You ain't got to be trying to start no new business right now. Get your hustle on. Get you a third part-time job. Fuck rise and grind. Fuck hustle social media. Fam, wisdom, discernment comes from being able to pause and observe. But we've been on the motherfucking wagon wheel with our nose to the grindstone like this for so long that black folk can't even see straight. Which is why we always so susceptible to whoever spins the dopest conspiracy yarn. Family, nature is telling you to take a break, to pause, to stop. Do it. Play with your babies. Make a new baby if you feel like it. There's a lot of babies that's going to be born this fall. And I'm glad to see it. Listen to some motherfucking music. Right? Write a poem. Read a motherfucking book. And start to take in the reality of where we are in this unique moment in time. So that through your observations, you can gain understanding. And through understanding, fam, you can gain wisdom. And through wisdom, you don't need to ask anybody how to act. You will know what to do. (425-296-1980) is the number, fam. I'm done. The floor is yours. Questions, comments, rants, statements, new topics. It's all about you. I want to hear from you, fam. You've been sitting in place, staying in place. Some of you sick right now. Some of you self-quarantined. I hope those of you who aren't feeling well that it's not the Rona. And if it does turn out to be the Rona, I hope that for a speedy and safe recovery for you. If you currently got laid off or you're out of a job, fam, I don't want you to stress. Call in and let's cry together about it. I wish I had the money to be able to carry you. I don't, but I can feel it with you. I can share that fear with you, and we can find a healing. We can find a place of stability and peace for you while we work towards the new normal. What have you been hearing? Share some information with us, fam. If you know something, and I'm not talking about, oh, no conspiracy shit. If you actually know some real information that is objectively verifiable that we can use, share it with us. 425-296-1980 is the number. Let me go back through the chat here. By the way, I was actually shocked. No, I have never filed a claim with the VA. I didn't serve a long enough time. I was only in for a year. I got flagged because I was overweight. 7 pounds ruined my Army career. I never got promoted. I never had any favorable action. I went in as E1, left as an E1, even though I was telling officers what to do. Even though I was one of the best operators on my job, I couldn't lose that last 7 pounds. And ultimately, I got chaptered out. Honorable discharge, no bullshit, but I wasn't in long enough to qualify for any real benefits. I got the benefit of learning, of being a soldier, and being of service to my nation, and now being able to use what I learned to help my people. But no, I've never filed a claim with the VA. John said if Trump handles it right, he can win again. I agree. This election right now, fam, is Trump's to lose. I can tell you that goddamn much right now. This election coming up in November is literally Trump's to lose. Because if he fucks around and is able to get us to put enough pressure on Congress to be able to actually do something for the people, nobody will be able to stand up to him. And I'm going to tell you something else. Quiet as it's kept, in 2024, I wouldn't expect a Democrat either. Everybody all high on Andrew Cuomo right now because he sounds so full of leadership. He sounds presidential. See, the crazy part with them leaders from New York is that we forget that they shine like new money during crises. Remember Giuliani and 9/11? Everybody thought Giuliani was the shit. Giuliani was the man during 9/11. Calling the shots. He was so good during the crisis that we forgot that he was shit before and that he was for shit afterwards. Andrew Cuomo was a corrupt ass machine politician before the Rona. Let's not let the shine he's getting right now because he's being decisive, because he's advocating for New Yorkers for a change. Let's not let that be the reason that we forget that he's for shit. In 2024, don't be surprised if Mitt Romney runs again. And I can tell you what, if Mitt Romney continues on the path he on, especially if he starts to channel the spirit of his father, George Romney, who was a huge advocate for civil rights for our people, and he gets behind a justice claim for us as black folk, the Democrats ain't gonna see the motherfucking White House for decades. And they may just lose the House, the Senate, all of it. I personally am not fucking with no Democrats. I'm not fucking with no Democrats at all. At all. I'm not voting for a Democrat I'm not voting for a Democrat to be the head of the trash collecting department. Fuck that. Now, I'm not saying I'm voting for Republicans either, especially up ballot. I'm about my justice claim. But what I am saying is I'm not turning my face away no more from the conservatives, from the Republicans. If they can talk to me in a language I can understand, we can have a sit down, a powwow. My vote's for sale. How about yours? for the low, low price of honoring my ancestors and finally paying the debt that's due. Four two five 296 1980, fam. I've been waiting for weeks to hear from you. How many people we got watching? 22. I was hoping to have bigger numbers than that. Alma said if Dems run Biden, look, Alma, did you finally catch what I was laying down when I said that the Democrats was not after Trump? They're not trying to win the 2020 election. Their whole thing about 2020 was ending the threat that's burning. That's a fact. Anybody who doesn't see that at this point, they don't know politics. The Dems don't care about 2020. That was never, ever the goal. It was to stop Bernard from hijacking their party. And they've done that effectively because the Branch Bernidians at this point are never Biden partisans. They will not vote for Joe Biden. They hate Joe Biden as much as they hated Hillary. I've seen Branch Bernidians that said, I've held my nose in 2016 and voted for Hillary. I will never vote for Joe Biden. I'm not bullshitting you, fam. Follow social media. Follow the Branch Bernidians across social media, fam. You got Branch Bernidians saying that they are voting for Trump. I've literally seen Branch Bernidians, the diehard Bernie partisans, say that they will vote for Trump. And even those that haven't yet said that they will vote for Trump, the overwhelming majority of them said that they're not going to vote for motherfucking Biden. They have made it clear they are not voting for Biden. They consider the DNC to have corrupted the party, to have corrupted the process. They think of the process currently as illegitimate. They will not support Biden because they see him as an illegitimate nominee. So the Dems don't have a shot in hell of winning in November, but that wasn't the point. The point was to end the threat that was Bernard and the Branch Bernidians. Alexis said Trump is talking about a government stake in businesses that get bailed out. Fam, thank you for the reminder. You know, I posted a series of tweets on Twitter. By the way, if you're not following me on Twitter, what the fuck are you doing? Right? Because that's where it all goes down. All my Twitter fam know Mark Black gets down on Twitter. Caller from 919, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? And what's on your mind?
Yeah, this is Tasha. I'm calling from Durham, North Carolina.
Sister Tasha.
I'm not going to be on for too long.
That's all right, sister. The floor is yours. You do you. I'm glad to hear from you. What's on your mind?
Yeah, so I'm a part of a chapter here, Triangle ADOS, but you know, what I would say for those who are definitely involved in terms of the movement is just to use this as an opportunity to start studying on things, look at auditing state budgets, even reading up on legislations, because if you follow the election, I mean, I think, you know, it's a pretty good chance that Trump is going to get in. So to me, it doesn't make sense being a spectator on the sidelines.
That's right.
And yeah, because, you know, I think, you know, some people have been, I guess, frustrated on how the primaries have gone so far. And the thing that people, you know, need to understand, when you look at all these characters, nobody's hands are totally clean. I mean, you look at Chuck Schumer and you look at Nancy Pelosi, and they're the two primary people who's talking about means testing.
Yep.
UBI, and a lot of people, even if they get unemployment, it's going to be nowhere near to what they actually need. And a lot of people have just, gotten out of previous recessions or still pretty much hurt from that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think the main thing is just to stay focused, keep our eyes on what is important and not to have our attention diverted regarding all the types of, outside politics, because to them, they're just trying to have a hand in maintaining the status quo.
That's right.
And if you look at the Bernie Sanders campaign, a lot of this stuff is just now filtering out. I mean, we've known all along that he's had bigoted attitudes towards blacks, but now, information is now starting to leak out of his camp. So we don't have a horse in the race. So, my main thing again is to stay focused and do whatever needs to get done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. By the way, shout out your chapter again. You said you were in North Carolina?
Yeah, we're part of the Triangle ADOS, so it includes Durham, Chapel Hill, and Raleigh.
Right on. Okay, shout out to your chapter. And I couldn't agree more, right? We don't have a horse in this race. Ain't nobody as of yet speaking our language. They're not talking about our justice claim. They don't speak our language. It's as simple as that. Right? So we don't have a horse in this race, which means that we have the freedom to maneuver however we choose. Right? We can sit, we can actually get in deep, figure out, we can start reading the legislation. Right? People ask me, they said, I posted a tweet on Twitter, sister, where I talked about how Congress was looking to try to screw over people who were caretakers, disabled, unemployed, and so on and so forth with these stimulus, right? Trying to leave them in the cold. Somebody hit me up and said, where do you see that in the legislation? I'm like, you didn't read the legislation that Trump just signed that granted, paid leave? Paid leave only applies to employees. If you ain't working, if you've been a caretaker or if you've been disabled or whatever the case may be, you get fuck all from this current stimulus package.
Right. They also need to freeze utility payments as well as rent payments.
Facts. Like, we got so much work to do right now, fam. You should, if you a politics nut like ADOS folk are, like I have been, right, like I am, this is the best time to be us. Oh, we got so much advocacy to be doing. Oh, so much advocacy to be doing. Like, you, sister, you agree with me. We can't run out of work at this point.
Right.
Sister Tasha, I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to it, but like I said, we should totally explore this time, especially if you're having to work remotely or even if you're out of work. I would say totally use this time to research. Don't get yourself lost in the outer politics, and just do whatever you need to do just to understand, legislatively how things work. Because at the end of the day, that's going to be the main parts of our work. So
absolutely,
that's all I have to say.
I appreciate you, sister. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you continue to join us. And if you ever have any announcements you want to make regarding your chapter, any information you want to disseminate, I hope you consider your brother a resource. It's my honor to do that for you.
All right, thanks.
Yes, ma'am. Peace. Fam, Trump is about to have these motherfuckers shook, especially if he gets what he wants, because he's not wanting to issue more debt to these corporations that are asking for bailouts. Trump wants equity. That's right. And I absolutely fucking agree. You want money? You struggling right now? Businesses, corporations? The trough is open. But we're not wanting you to pay nothing back. No. We want ownership. We want to share. If we bail you out, we'll give you as much motherfucking money as you asking for. But we want equity. Now, what I think should be done with this, I actually posted this on Twitter too as well. What I think should be done is that the government should open up the Fed and the government, because they work in cahoots, should open up the trough. Anybody, small, medium, large business, don't matter. You want money? We got it for you. But we taking shares. We want equity. We ain't issuing no more debt. We ain't doing nothing where we give you the money and hope you pay it back later after you done inflated more bubbles and more bullshit. No, we want equity. And what I think that the government and what Trump should do is then take that equity in all these multitudinous corporations and create a sovereign corporation, a United States corporation that then requires quarterly dividends on shares issued to all Americans. Now, I know what you're thinking. Brother Black, all Americans, niggas, you crazy? Like, how does that help black folk out? Here's the kicker. This is how justice claim gets done. This sovereign corporation, in order to make amends to pay our justice claim, simply assigns to our accounts more shares. So when the dividends get paid out, we get paid out more. Let me tell you how this benefits everybody and us. Us primarily, but everybody in general. One, this is a solid bet on the strength of the American economy. I don't want to hear just rhetoric about our economy being strong. See, we need to make America show improve. If we're the strongest economy on the planet, then feed all the money to the corporations that you can. Get as much equity in these companies as you can. And then when things start to ramp back up again, when people start to get jobs again, when business starts to take off again, everybody fucking benefits. Instead of working for the man, being a shareholder in our sovereign national corporation, you are the man. Instead of working for the man, you will be the man. You will have ownership. So as America prospers, we don't get caught up in this trick bag again of the economy takes a shit, the rich get richer, and everybody else get fucked. Nope. Not at all. As they go, we go. They stock take off through the roof, our equity takes off through the roof. More money gets sent out to us so that we can then further stimulate the economy by being able to buy more of their products and services. And by issuing the descendants of the enslaved here in the United States, ADOS, DOAS, whatever you call us, FBA, by issuing us additional shares, it allows America to pay the justice claim. They estimate that the wealth gap between us and white folks is between 10 and 13 times. So if each American gets a share, including children, they should create trusts in the name of every American child born in this country, and they get an equal share to be delivered to them when they turn 18 so that they can start off with resources. So this covers the whole baby bonds thing. Don't have to worry about that. Being a shareholder in United States Inc. means that you're straight. But by issuing us additional shares, we get a larger piece of the dividends, of the growth of America. All that money that our ancestors helped generate through our enslavement, all the money that was stolen from us during convict leasing, debt peonage, Jim Crow, sharecropping will start to return to us. Todd said they need to do that with green energy too. I agree. Fam, The options are fucking limitless. And the best part about it is that if capitalism is so great, if America's so strong, then this is something that every American can get behind. This ain't no handout. This is part of your patrimony of being a citizen, being a shareholder, an owner in America Inc. Fuck issuing more debt to these bastards. We want to play too. We want a chunk. We'll give you all the money you asking for. Invite them all. Invite them all to the trough. Every single one. You want to be a small business? Fine. We got money for you. Interest free. How much do you need? Oh, wait. What's your valuation in this enterprise? Oh, you've only put up 10,000, but you need $1 million? Okay, cool. Well, then that means, guess what? We own 90-some-odd% of your company. So when profits and shares and dividends and shit get paid out, that goes right into the motherfucking sovereign company fund. Now, of course, you can buy your equity back, right? If you want to do that, that's perfectly fine. Buy your equity back. That's more money that goes into United States Inc., into America Inc. That's even more resources distributed to every American. And the coolest thing about it is, fam, it don't got nothing to do with if you can work or not. It don't have nothing to do with if you got a job or not. If you are owner, you are owner. Everybody in this country that's owners is the ones that always stand to reason to make more money. Do you know you got people in this country whose job is to rent you a house? That's their livelihood, is renting to you. You go out and work to pay them. Well, we got to maintain the house and we got to pay. You would have to do that shit if I wasn't living in your house. So how the fuck is that labor? How is that contributing anything to the economy? So if ownership being a way for growth and benefit and accumulation of resources to be a thing, if ownership is the way, then the only way to fix America is to make us all owners. So let them come. The airlines want $50 billion, give it to them. We want equity. We want preferred stock. Thank you very much. How much would that 50 billion be of your company? That's the percentage you owe us. And all they would have to do to ensure a constant stream of income for every American every quarter is just require every American corporation moving forward to pay quarterly dividends based off of their total profits. No more hiding in tax shelters and shit like that. Eliminate all that shit. Every quarter, every company that took money from the United States has to pay dividends on the valuation of their company. The profits over and above, so they get their gross revenues, right? They take care of their expenses, paying, wages, R&D, whatever it is. Any money that's left gets issued as dividends automatically, and that money goes into the United States Inc., into the shareholders. You and I. Socialize the gains and stop privatizing the motherfucking failure. Or we're going to privatize the gains for ourselves and we're going to socialize this failure for America. But there is no going back to normal. If you have gotten nothing else from this broadcast, fam, there's no going back to normal. Why? Why, Black people? Why would you want to go back to normal? In the era of the Rona, dream big. Anything is possible. stand up and fight for what you want. We need loud-mouthed, broad-backed, strong-willed, positively discerning, wise motherfuckers to come out here and punch America in the mouth. Because it's our turn. It's our turn, fam. I'm glad to hear that y'all like that idea. Start advocating for it. These companies want money. They want bailouts. We want equity. We'll give them all the money they want. But we want to cut. We want to share in your growth. So as you prosper, so do we. It ain't got nothing to do with being tied to where you working or who you work for. You American citizen, you're an automatic shareholder in United States Inc. And you can call it socialism. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. I don't care what you call it. Let's get it done. 425-296-1980, fam. Give me at least one more call before I end it. I've been waiting so long to speak with y'all, man. Don't make me beg. Y'all, because y'all are getting it in the chat. That's right. Menace Aptara said everything the government invests in, the American public should benefit from it. Straight up. Ain't nobody saying don't help the businesses. Give them money. We want equity. It's a fair trade. That's a perfectly fair trade. Boeing needs a motherfucking bailout. How much do you need? The banks need a bailout. How much do you need? Because for every dollar, we taking $1 in equity out your ass. So how much do you need? That's our money anyway. So we supposed to be held at virus point or at gunpoint to guarantee these motherfuckers get richer and get no cut, and it's our money? Shit. No. Publicize that shit. Let all these companies stay open. I want them all to stay open. I want them all to get bailouts. I want to open up the trough and let them motherfuckers eat like pigs until we own it all. If they want to feed off the trough until every bit of equity is ours, go right ahead. I got no problem with it. Shit, let me let the president hear my voice, okay? I would be making it rain on these corporations. And while I'm making it rain like this with one hand, with the other hand, I'm snatching up equity. And then the very next day, I'll create a sovereign fund, a sovereign corporation that belongs to the American people, that Congress can't touch, that nobody can touch, that issues pro rata shares to every single individual American in this country with a little something extra for our brothers and sisters who are the descendants of the enslaved, in honor of their contribution to our country, in recognition of the need to atone for our previous crimes against them. And ensure that America's growth, everybody benefits from. You want to talk about a UBI? That's how you get it done. That's how you do a UBI. Make us all owners. Because the owners are the only ones in this country that get the benefit. In a capitalist society, fam, the ones with the capital are the ones who benefit. The old way is not going to work. What they're going to end up with is guillotines, pitchforks, and a whole bunch of motherfuckers they're going to have to shoot. On the path that the Congress, that the House and the Senate is walking right now, On the path that they're on right now, they're going to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory and ensure bloodshed across this nation. I can guarantee you that. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm talking about the natural outcome of the fuckery they're on right now. It don't have to be that way. Behold, in the era of the Rona, all things are become new. If capitalism is so great, if ownership is so great, then the only way you make America great is to make us all owners. Simple as that. So if a company wants to automate and tens of millions of jobs go out the window, but productivity goes up and profitability goes up, guess what? I can sit my ass at home like this and wait on my quarterly check to show up. Or I can go teach some babies. Or I can take some time to come up with some new ways to increase productivity, to advance automation, because then I'm not going to be afraid if I don't have a job. I'm an owner. I'm invested. I got a share, a piece. So I don't have to worry about if they fire off and lay off a whole bunch of people, but they're able to raise productivity and the share value. Great. Why are we sitting here trying to find full employment anyway? Caller from 214, it's your man Mark Black. What's your name, where you calling from, and what's on your mind?
Yeah, Mark, this is D out of Dallas.
D, what's good, fam?
Yeah, Mark, that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea, man. But I mean, like, if you give the airlines like $50 billion, wouldn't you be like actually nationalizing the industry? Wouldn't that basically be a government-owned industry?
You can call it whatever you want, fam. I call it a people.
You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm saying you're right. I call it a people-owned industry because, see, people get caught up in the verbiage. They'll say that's socialism. But what they don't understand is that currently what we got is socialism for the capitalists and privatization,
Right.
hardcore capitalism competition for the citizens. No, if capitalism is good for them, it's good for us too, right? Or I should say, if it's good enough for us, it's good enough for them too. So either we live in capitalism, and that means that if they can't carry the load, they fall, just like they expect from us. Or if we're going to socialize shit, let's bring the socialism out in the motherfucking open. Let's let them feed at the trough, and let's take equity. Let's take ownership. So as they prosper, we prosper. It's our money any damn way.
Right. It is, man. And you can no longer, socialize the cost and privatize the profits. I mean, the days of that are long gone, man.
You damn right it is. Because I can't speak for you. D, I can't speak for you, fam, but I'm on the verge. People say we shouldn't be advocating for violence. When you got corrupt ass politicians buying and selling and trading stock off of information we don't get privy to, when you got them means testing and nickel and diming people in their greatest time of need that we've seen in a generation, you tell me why we shouldn't be talking about guillotines, pitchforks, rising up, going to kick they motherfucking ass. Explain why we shouldn't be having that discussion at this point.
No, man, all discussions are on the table. And plus, man, it's your constitutional right to do that if they're not abiding by, wishes and needs. And they have abided by our wishes and needs for a very long time. Man, this country has always been run, by an oligarchy, the rich plutocracy, man. They've always run. We already have our own royal line here. They about the royals in Britain or whatever. No, we have royals here in America too, man. They've been living like that for a long time. It's time for the peasants to rise up and take their rightful place in America also, man, because the way they're currently running things is just untenable, man. It's unacceptable. and we shouldn't be taking it anymore, man. This stuff is just ridiculous. They take more and more from us, and they're always talking about redistribution of wealth, and they're always redistributing wealth up to the top.
You damn
and it
right.
never comes down to us, and it's just ridiculous, man. And I'm just shocked. More people don't see this, but I think more and more people are starting to open their eyes to this, especially the more people start to suffer, you know?
I'm going to tell you something. The only thing that our tribe need to worry about, D, is making sure that we destroy the old racial compact. And I'm going to explain what I mean by that. Previously, there have been multitudinous efforts to do exactly what it is that I've been talking about. The problem is that our fellow white citizens are always open to get their portion of the racial bag and leave us hanging, right? If you look at Bacon's rebellion back in the days of the colonies, right? That was white and black folk. Right? We were all united together to rise up against the motherfucking plantation class, the owner class. But what happened? They bought the whites off. They made the poor whites, they gave them a little cut, and they was willing to slit our motherfucking throats to keep it. If you look at the populist movement in the turn of the 20th century, that was poor white farmers and poor sharecropping black farmers that were united. And what did they do? The capitalists came in and offered the white people more whiteness, more access to whiteness, and thus more access to capital. And they happily slit our motherfucking throats, lynched us, and sold us out. The only job that we, the descendants of the enslaved in this country, have in this moment in time is to ensure that whatever happens with any of us, it happens for all of us. We can't let them motherfuckers betray us one more time. We can't let them make this only about class without addressing race. That's the only job we got. Because we can change it all. Right. But if we let it be just about class, right? If we let these red rose socialists say, oh, no, it's not about race, it's about class. The rich are fucking us all. No. See, the rich are fucking us all, but y'all susceptible to getting bought the fuck off real cheap for racial shit. So no more ignoring race. We address the racial piece and we address the class piece. Then we move forward as one nation to sink or swim, to rise and fall together. But that's our job. What do you think, brother?
I think the same thing, man. You're basically saying, Mark, that that we should destroy the concept of whiteness, because that's what you're talking about, man. You know, because that's been our problem all along. You know, whiteness is a status, black is a status, and it's the bottom rung of the caste system. You know, that's why we've always been at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And you're talking about, hey, you know, destroy whiteness and everybody's the same and we get the same benefits out of this society, or nobody gets nothing.
Facts.
Because like without our acquiescence, you know, this system does not stand. You know, you can't, this system doesn't run without us. So you need our agreement to let this system run. And if we aren't in agreement with it, then it doesn't run anymore.
You damn right.
We're not the gasoline for America anymore. We're not the fuel. Our failure isn't the fuel for America anymore. Then what? Everybody suffers. You know, because like we're not going to let the Democrats get in and give all these different groups because what they're getting is everything that we fought for.
Thank you.
I mean, like affirmative action was supposed to be for us, and it went to white women. All these slots these white women have, those were supposed to go to black people. You know what I'm saying? And it went to white people, it went to Mexicans, it went to all these immigrants that are coming over here, and we didn't benefit one iota from it. The only people that benefit from it were like the boomers.
Yeah.
Which are, you know, voting for Biden or whatever right now. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. And, I would blame them for that, but I could see where they're coming from.
Yeah, I'm not blaming the boomers for nothing. Because see, there's another trap that the powers that be is trying to get us caught up in. By the way, shout out to Mr. Utada Singh for subscribing. I appreciate you joining the Angry Black Sheep fam. Welcome. Listen, they're trying to get us caught up in a generational trap. Now, make no mistake about it. Our elders is on some fuck shit right now. We do need to have a come to Jesus moment with our elders. Okay? Yeah. We do.
Yeah.
But that's in-house. That's internal. That's with love and grace. That's not disrespect. That's not publicly shitting on our elders to the benefit of white acceptance like I see a lot of folk doing. Right? You see a lot of black folk calling our black boomers and our black forebears ignorant and low information voters and this and the third. Look, I can disagree with my elders all day, and I do.
Right.
But I'll be damned if I throw my elders under the bus so that I can sidle up next to liberal whites or conservative Mexicans or whoever. Fuck that.
Never.
Right. We can handle that in-house. Right? Now, we do need to have a generational come to Jesus moment where we all get on the same page. But if we do that right, with love and grace, with understanding, with conversation, with discussion, right? With understanding the fears of our elders. Look, we forget that, look, I'm an Xer. So I'm literally one generation away from ancestors that sharecropped. One generation. I'm one generation away from ancestors that lived in the heart of Jim Crow. I can talk about what they faced, but they fucking lived it.
Right.
And for me to sit here with hubris, with arrogance, fam, and think that I have the right to dictate to them their lived experience, how crazy is that? I'm not saying we can't have a discussion with our elders, and some of them are lost, fam. We can't save everybody, but I see all the time boomers out there who are saying, no, the young ones is right. These crackers, these buckwheat done us dirt, and it's time to get in their ass. We got boomers. We got silent, the greatest generation out there. Some of them is back in our play, right? So to act like that all of our forebears just sold us up the river, I think is disingenuous, and it's not nuanced enough. It doesn't allow for grace and for us to have the space to have the needed conversations and discussions so that we can all get on the same page. And more importantly, it's putting us in a position where we're sitting up here disrespecting our own for the benefit of other motherfuckers. For white folks, we sit up here bashing our boomers to make Burn Tards and Branch Bernidians happy? Please.
Right. That's not happening. Right. Yeah, exactly, man. I think the same thing. And man, these corporations that we're helping out, Mark, and we do the government does a lot of research as far as like medication and all this other kind of stuff, dude. And then they hand it over to the corporation so they can manufacture whatever, man, and make a profit off of it.
That's right.
No, man, no more of that stuff, too. Everything that the government has a hand in, NASA creates a lot of things that they hand over to private industry, and then they go off and make a profit off of it. No more of that, dude. No more. That stuff should be used for the American populace. Whatever it is, whatever the government invests in.
I don't have a problem with that no more. I want the government to come up with new shit and then hand it off to a corporation. If we want to do that, that's perfectly fine. All I want moving forward in the new normal is ownership. And I want it for us all.
Right.
If you tell us that being a capitalist, being an owner is the way to prosperity, fine. I don't care how many corporations you empower. I don't care how much money you give them. For every dollar in money and resources we give them, I want $1 in equity. And I want that to
Right.
be
Right.
distributed and available to every American. See, the whole thing of it is with this okay, so like you remember Yang was talking about the UBI. The
Man, fuck
UBI,
that
he was talking
UBI.
about though
That's the insult.
eliminating entitlements to make possible
Right.
the UBI.
Right.
Like we wouldn't do math. Like we wouldn't figure out that okay, you can either get the UBI or
Right.
you can continue to get SSDI or SSI, Social Security,
Right.
Medicare, Medicaid,
Right.
SNAP,
Right.
TANF, so on and so forth. Right? Like we wouldn't figure that
Right.
out. The bastard
Right.
was trying to use UBI to provide cover for fucking capitalists, for the goddamn
Right. Exactly.
oligarchs. But we was all supposed
Exactly.
to be with the Yang gang. Like black people don't know how to do math. Like we don't know how to read.
Right. Yes. Right. Right. Like
I'm
you're a
not
child or
against
something.
a UBI, but everything always in America comes down to the details, to the execution, right? The
Right.
devil,
Right.
especially for
In the
us,
details.
is always in the details, fam. And nobody who
Right.
was looking at Yang's platform with this UBI bullshit had, if they understood it, right, would ever support it.
Right.
It was never going to be
Right.
supported. Not the way that he was trying to
Right.
structure it. Now, the way I'm talking about doing a UBI is perfectly supportable because it's based off of the actual growth of the economy. If our corporations and businesses are doing well, if people, either got jobs or automation has made productivity so high and reduced the cost of production to the point where profits are skyrocketing through the roof, then we all come up. We all benefit,
Right.
right?
Right.
But
Right.
if we're not talking about doing that, I don't want to issue no more debt to these corporations. Let the motherfuckers die. If they can't, if we can't get
Exactly.
equity, I want them to burn.
They're dinosaurs. Right.
Because
And
if
also,
we, they,
Mark.
the politicians are willing to let us die, they're willing to let us burn. If you're not directly
Exactly.
contributing to the murder machine, in other words, if you're not a
Right.
worker, Brother Rob, UBI stands
Right.
for Universal Basic Income. So if currently,
Right.
as it stands, if you're not a cog in the murder machine, right? If you're not an employee, you're left in every bit of legislation that's been passed so far to so-called help Americans. If you're not a part of the murder machine, you get nothing.
Right. Right. That's true, man. You're right about that.
And
And
how do they
also,
think that that's
go ahead,
going to
Mark.
work?
Yeah. Right. No, it's not gonna work, man. That UBI stuff is not gonna work. But also, Mark, these corporations that are asking for handouts, also, what about making ADOS, open up programs and stuff like that in these corporations? Where you can go in and like say coders and stuff for programmers.
Mm-hmm.
You open up programs for that for ADOS, man, or shadowing CEOs or upper level management.
Yep.
So we get that experience. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Oh no, I mean,
That
fam,
kind of thing.
I'm with you. Dream fucking big and fight big.
Exactly.
What's the point in us cowering? See, this is the thing that I don't get. In the era of the Rona, right, where we have this worldwide pandemic, where we all face the risk of dying, gasping for breath, you still afraid to go out and hang it all, go and no quit, balls to the wall for, man, please. If this point the whole world is in danger, then damn it, what the fuck do we have to lose by fighting for what it is exactly we need and or want? We should be asking the biggest asks. We should be bold and daring and in their motherfucking face with the ultimate of threats that, hey, you do justice and do rightness by us, America will become greater than it's ever been. You don't do justice by us, and we will do everything in our power to see you all burn.
Right. It would be the death of America. America will definitely fail. I mean, without us, America is gonna fail though. But
Exactly.
yeah, man. That you're right, man. You're right about that. But yeah, man, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go and let somebody else call in. Thanks
Hey,
for
brother,
taking my call.
great call, man. Great call. Please do not hesitate to do it again, fam. I appreciate you. I love you. You and yours stay safe, man. You know, social distancing is a thing, so stay safe. Stay out of people's face.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Make sure you
right,
do your due diligence. And I can't wait to see you on the other side because we about to go hard.
right. We're going hard in the paint.
You damn
Hard
right
body,
we
bro.
are.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's
Peace. Great call, fam. This ain't no time, fam, for wilting lilies. If you got a jelly back with a yellow streak running up your spine, I suggest you fall back. If a little bit of harsh rhetoric, a little bit of heat, fire, shade, and smoke has you clutching your pearls, I suggest that you self-isolate. Because this is the time for our ancestors to finally get their due. Because at this point, fam, we literally have nothing to lose. Our government, both D and R, the establishment bitches, have made it clear. Shit, how many Twitter followers I got? I got a bunch. Let me go take a look real quick, fam. I got 1,481 followers. I wish I had 1,481 viewers. That would be nice. But I love my diehards. I love my fellow black sheep, the ones who show up regular. Y'all the reason why I do this. But fam, this is time for us to dream big. It's not even time for us to dream big. We already got the dreams. It's time to bring these dreams to fruition. It's time to put our dreams into the making. You feel me? It's time for us to put our dreams into making. Everybody and their mama right now is demanding, not asking, demanding from the government what they want. That needs to be us, fam. That needs to be us. And I'm not talking about us muling for the rest of America. That's the beautiful thing about it. We don't have a horse in the race, like the ADOS sister said. So we are free to advocate for our motherfucking selves. To ask for what? No, to demand what we want. We are free to go to Trump. We free to come at Mitch. We free to come at Pelosi. We free to come at Schumer. Anybody can get it. We ain't set tripping over here. We not D's or R's. We anybody killers. Anybody can get it. Y'all feel me? Anybody can get it. Rona has changed everything. It is up to us. You ask, what can you do? What do I do, Brother Black? Lost my job. My grandma's sick. I'm scared. Fam, you do what our ancestors have always done in the times of trial. You cleave to each other and you go all out. You don't leave shit on the table. There's no option that's not open for discussion. There's no stratagem, no tactic that is off the table. You throw everything out there. They done already told us what the terms of engagement is. We already know what the terms of engagement are. The establishment is going to work to continue to fatten the pockets of the goddamn oligarchs, the plutarchs, and watch us die. That's the terms of engagement. So the question at this point, fam, becomes very singular. What y'all want to do? What y'all want to do? You want to continue to allow socialism for the crony capitalists, the oligarchs, and the plutarchs while you benefit nothing from it? You want to allow Schumer, Pelosi, Feinstein? You want to allow Mitch McConnell, Rand Paul, and all the rest of them? You want to allow them to tell you that the only thing you are is a useless eater and you deserve to die because you may or may not be a cog in the murder machine? What y'all want to do? Black man said, you think they're going to bring the jobs back? Fam, if we do it the way I'm laying out, why do you care? If we create America Inc. and make everybody owners, who cares if there's the jobs? Automate the whole goddamn thing if they want to. I'd love nothing more than to turn on the news one day and see zero motherfucking employment. Once I'm an owner, once I got a cut, once I get a share in the prosperity of this motherfucker, automate all the jobs. Get rid of them all. Hey, black people, y'all kill me. Niggas is the only ones that say, if you don't work, you don't eat. Shit. We should be trying to make work. We should be trying to outlaw work. If it's good enough for these rich oligarchs, it's good enough for me. If a life of leisure, of pleasure, of no stress, of being able to do what I choose to do as opposed to what I have to do, if that's good for them, then damn it, it's good for me. I want my cut. I want you to have your cut. I want our ancestors to get their due. And then if they want to automate every damn job that's in existence out of existence, I don't care. Matter of fact, I'll support them. I'll back them. Everybody talk about we need residual income. How you think you get that and you're not an owner? See, the capitalists done fucked up because they done told us how they became capitalists, how they remain capitalists. They become capitalists because they the owners. Cool. If ownership is the way, I'm down. I'm done arguing with the hyper capitalists. I'm done arguing with the motherfucking hardcore capitalists. If capitalism is the way, cool. I want capitalism for us all then. I want all of us to be owners. We ain't gotta have no arguments about this and that, the third. Fuck it. Let the capitalists have it. They want to open up business after business, enterprise after enterprise. Feed them the money. I want equity. Because through that equity, my people will gain parity. See, fam, I need you to understand that we ain't in this for equality. I can't speak for you. I don't want equality. What I want is repair and parity. I want us to be made whole for what was stolen from us. And then I want parity. I want my cut. I want my ownership in this motherfucker. I want you to have your ownership in it. So that way, they want to automate the whole shit. They want to build AIs. They want Elon Musk to have power walls all over the motherfucking place and everybody drives a Tesla. I'm cool. They want to build fields of concentrated solar power plants and try to fund fusion plants. Cool. Because I get a share in it all. If it succeeds, I stay winning. If it don't, that's the risk. And we all suffer the risk and we all benefit from the gains. If ownership is good for them, it's good for me. Wa alaikum assalam, pretty Muslima. We missed you, sister. Glad to see you. No more dithering, fam. No more spinning yarns. No more bullshit. If ownership is good, then ownership is good for us all. I want my share in America Inc. The shares that I paid the blood price for, that my ancestors paid the blood price for. Ownership good for them, it's good for me. If living a life of leisure and living a life of purpose, and living a life of being able to do what I want as opposed to what I have to, if it's good enough for them oligarchs, the shit's good enough for me. I'm like, family, I'm like Tony Montana. I don't want much. I just want the world and everything in it. My people are priceless. My ancestors' sacrifices, their lives were priceless. So we only talking about trillions. That's right. Taj is on it. Taj, I had the same idea, right? If we used concentrated solar for electrolysis and then used hydrogen, under electrolysis, right? And then used that hydrogen to fuel hydrogen power. But another thing I was thinking about, Taj, and maybe you can talk, come on one day and we can talk about this or whatever the case may be, or we can have a conference or a Discord meeting or something like that. But using concentrated solar to store concentrated solar energy in a form of heat, in a heat battery, and then during the day use that heat to store it up, and then at night when we need power on demand, use that heat to run turbines for steam and shit. There's so many ways to go about things. I don't need my people advocating to return back to normal. Oh, I'll be glad when we done with this shit and we could go back to normal. For what? If you share my heritage and my lineage, why would you ever want to go back to normal? Nigga, this is the new normal. And it will be what we say it is. Or it won't be for nobody. Fam, I want to thank you all. Stay at home if you can. I hope that my broadcast that I did back in February got a lot of you able to prepare. I know some of you been talking to me on Twitter about your stores of goods. I'm proud to see y'all out there getting your rice, your beans, the stuff that you need, right? Keep doing that. We don't know where this will end. Nature doesn't operate on a timetable. Anybody that tries to tell you that the Rona is seasonal, we don't know. There's so much about this novel coronavirus that we simply don't know. And you need to be okay with that for now. That's not to say we won't get the answers. We're asking the questions. But don't let the uncertainty of this have you so shook that you freeze with paralysis, that you become depressed and angry and fearful. We don't need that for you. What we need is for you to keep your mind clear, your hearts pure, your claws sharp. We need big mouths, loud advocacy. We need everybody understanding what the fuck is coming out of Washington, D.C., what's coming out of your local, your state legislatures, because a lot of states are actually doing better toward their people than the federal government has so far. And if you in one of those states, shout out to you. This is not the time to quail. This is not the time to be weak. Black man, is this you, fam? Caller from 903. It's your man, Mark Black. What's your name? Where you calling from? What's on your mind?
It's Black Man.
It's the Black Man. I knew it. Holla at us, fam. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, I just wanted to let y'all know that I used to be, you know, the shows that you show back in the day on A&E or whatever that channel was.
What? Repeat that,
I would
fam.
always watch those shows. I would always watch those shows.
What shows, fam? I didn't quite catch it. What show are you referring to?
Oh, it's called Preppers.
Preppers, yeah, absolutely.
That's
Great
it.
show. Great show, by the way.
Right. I used to take that stuff serious. Like, people are always going out now. Now people are trying to find all these bullets. But y'all know me, I'm a gun guy anyways. I got 45s, I got 12 gauges, I got all my bullets are there. I got, you know, playing around with 22, shoot small animals and stuff. I'm good.
Yep.
And we always went to Sam's, and when we would buy, I would always buy big. I wouldn't buy a little.
Yeah.
Because one thing it does is keeps me from going back to the store, you know, back and forth. But the other thing is, if something happened, I was always ready.
Yeah. If you get ready, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
You ain't got to get ready. You don't have to. You really don't have to. Like I told you, when I put my gas stove, or not gas, but a propane. At the time, my wife wanted electric. I'm like, no, because if the lights go out, there ain't no way we can feed ourselves. We got to go propane.
Mm-hmm.
But propane blows up this, that, and the other, blah, 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 blah. But after the stuff started happening with our lights going out, she appreciated the propane because she could still cook, we could still eat.
Absolutely.
When everybody else was worried about how they're going to do this, how they're going to do that, well, we were still good. The only thing I didn't do, what I wanted to do, is put my hot water heater on direct propane as well to make it, you know, so you can still take a hot shower and all that kind of stuff.
Fam, are you handy with your hands? You good with your hands?
Oh yeah, that's what I told you. I mean, if you can't own a house if you don't know how to.
Okay. No, fam, I wasn't disputing. I was simply inquiring. The reason why I was asking is because I know you down in Texas, and depending on where you are, you get a lot of insulation. Not insulation, insolation. You get a lot of sun. Am I right? Where you at? Is sunny where you at?
Right.
So check this out.
You know what? I have not done the solar thing yet. But remember the show you
No. I wasn't talking about like solar panels and shit. There's actually there's actually a way that you can get that hot water backup that you're looking for, right? Take your water heater. What size water heater you got? 50, 20, 30, 50? What size? How many gallons?
I think it's more than that. I think it's 50, 75, something like that. It's big. I got two of them. I got one on one side of the house for the kitchen and the washer in my bathroom. Yeah. And then on the other side of the house, I got another one for that back bathroom.
Okay, here's what you do. Take your water heaters, take the outer sheath off, that steel sheath that's on the outside, right? Take some R30 insulation. Insulation this time, not insulation. Insulation. Take R30 insulation, wrap it around your heaters all directions, okay? And then put a new sheath on. You might have to get some sheet steel or some sheet metal to do it, but it's cool. That insulates your tanks, right? Then what you do is you take pumps, just little. They don't have to be heavy pumps, right? You can run both the pump needed for both of your water tanks off of one circuit breaker switch. If you got a spare switch in your box, right? Wire a pump from both pumps and run that water up to your roof. Create a box with a tank inside that's painted black, right? You want to paint the whole entire inside of it black, matte black. Black is going to hold the heat. Insulate that box and run that water up through that tank that you have mounted on your roof, make sure you take the tank and align it from east to west and point it on the south of your house, right? So take the tank, angle it to the south, and make its orientation east to west, and pump that hot water through that tank up on your roof. If you have the means to do it, inside the tank, create loops, copper loops, right? Yep. And loop that water back and forth in that black tank. And that'll use the heat from the sun to heat up your hot water, which if you currently use gas, that'll actually save you on the gas that you use to heat your water. And when your gas is low, like let's say you out of propane, or your gas get disconnected, or whatever the case may be, you still have a backup source of hot water. And if you handy with your hands, this is a project you can do in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's like what they used to do with the moonshine barrels. They wrap that copper coil in there.
Exactly. All you're going to do is take that copper coil and run it around that tank. You're going to basically create a black pipe or a tank, and you're going to run that water around those loops, paint those loops black so that they can get the maximum insolation, right? The maximum amount of sun's heat hitting that shit. Right. Make sure your orientation is east to west, because remember, sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Now, if you're really handy, what you could do is you could set up a dish, right? Like a disc. And you can use what's called a solar tracker. And the solar tracker will look at the position of the sun in the sky. And if you mount it on a mechanism that can pivot or move, what it'll do is it'll track the sun's position in the sky. And then instead of having that tank on the top of the roof of your house, what you can do is you can have those pumps run the water through a mount that sits at the focal point of that polished disc. So you basically make a polished dish, right? Like a satellite dish. And you'll have the sun's light reflect on the end of that thing. It can get so hot, it'll actually create steam. Then what you do is you run that steam through a condenser and run that shit into your hot water tank. You'll have hot water. And with insulated tanks, you straight. That's if you're really handy. But if you just got basic handyman skills, you can have hot water, especially if you live in an area where you get a lot of sun.
Yeah, I'm decent. I want to tell you this too. We were talking about the grants and stuff back in the day. I signed for a grant. Well, I turned the paperwork in the other day, but I have been on lockdown. I've now left the house. Don't bother me not to leave the house. I can do this. It ain't no big deal to me. But I went and dropped off my paperwork, and they said, drop it off in a slot. But my grant paperwork is for for eviction, right? And they gave me $41,000 to fix up my house.
That's what's up.
Yeah, so I took that and ran with it. And then on the second end, I was sitting there I want to ask you again, but if you went to Desert Storm, are you sure there's not a packet out there for you?
I'm sorry. Yeah. So let me explain my circumstances. I joined in 92, right? So I qualify as a Persian Gulf vet, even though all of the major action over in the sandbox was basically done by 92, right? I had no worries about getting, sent in country or anything like that, right? I signed up not under the GI Bill, but under the loan repayment program because I had went to college. I dropped out of high school in the 10th grade. So in order for me to enlist, I had to get like 27 credits of college credit before I could enlist. Right. So I went to this little bullshit ass hood business school. They counted the credits. I got 27 credits from that school. And then I enlisted. And it was, as a matter of fact, I went to boot about 2 weeks. No, less than 2 weeks. About 9 days after my 18th birthday. Right. So I was in DEP before I was 18. Right. So I enlisted. I was on DEP. Then on February the 2nd of 1992, I went to boot at Fort Jackson. Okay. So from Fort Jackson, I completed boot, right? Tank, shout out to Tank Hill. Completed boot. I went to AIT at Fort Gordon, right? Because I was in the Signal Corps, right? So I went to Fort Gordon and Signal Corps, got my AIT training there, and then was stationed up here at Lewis, right? In Fort Lewis here in Washington State. I was with 29th SIG, but 29th got reclassified as 129th SIG. We supported all of I Corps, right? Supported all of First Corps, Camo. It didn't matter what unit you was with. If you was with an artillery unit, we was out there with you. If you was an infantry unit, we was out there with you. If you was Rangers, because you know the 2nd of the 75th is also stationed up here out of Fort Lewis, right? So if you was Rangers, we was with you, right? I was a good soldier, right? No problems, perform. I was expert marksman with both the 16 and the 60, because this was before they phased out the 60 and put in the SAW, right? The squad automatic weapon. So I was qualified expert 16, 60, and I was a Camo bunny, okay? Now, I had to lose weight to even get into the Army. I always been a big dude. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I had a weight loss surgery back in 2011. I lost almost 200 pounds. Actually, I lost over 200 pounds at my lowest. My heaviest weight, I was at 427, fam. I nearly died from obesity, right? So I've always struggled with my weight my whole life. And I had to lose weight to even get into the Army, right? I had to lose about 21 pounds to qualify for boot. Got down to about 210. I'm 5'10", right? So I got down to about 210 in boot, right? Because boot is hard, right? They starved my ass and they worked my ass. I got down to about 210, 205 in boot. Went to AIT, went through that training, got to my unit. I got up to about 221 pounds. What people don't know is that when you go in the military, you can be a little heavier when you go to boot. But once you're in the Corps, right? Once you're in, the units, right? Once you're in the Army, the weight standards become really strict.
Yeah.
Really strict. Like there's no wavering. And every time I would go in for a weigh-in, right? I was scoring really well on my PT. I was doing PT with Rangers, okay? My unit was right across the street from the 2nd of the 75th. We were doing PT with Rangers every day, right? So I was rough and ready. I was in the best shape of my motherfucking life. But eating normally, not missing meals like I was in boot and AIT, eating normally and exercising every day, my weight crept up. So I went from 205 to 215 to 220 to 225. But my weight at my height was supposed to be 215, right? So I ended up about, on average, between, on a good day, 7, on a bad day, 9 pounds over my weight. Now, when you first have that happen in the military, they don't sweat it. They say, fam, you got to lose the weight. They don't sweat you about it. You don't get shade or none of that bullshit, right? They just tell you, hey, you need to get the weight off. All right. So you do more exercise or you cut back on what you eating and drinking and shit, right? Which I did. But I could never get the weight off. And so ultimately what happens then is they flag you. Basically, they bar you to re-enlist. Every soldier has to be eligible to re-enlist. Right? So because I was flagged, because I was barred to re-enlist, I was flagged no favorable action, meaning I could not go or attend to any schools, right? So no additional training. I was Camo when I went in because I wanted to go to not airborne school. I wanted to go to air assault school. I wanted to get more into, the infantry side of the house, right? Because I was hardcore, but I couldn't go to any schools and I could not get promotions. So while all my people in my unit that came with me from Fort Jackson were getting promoted to PFC and the corporal and shit, I was E1. I went in as an E1. I left as an E1 because I just couldn't get the weight off. If you've been flagged for a certain period of time, after a while, they chapter you out. They find a chapter or article in the UCMJ, right? The Uniform Code of Military Justice. And they say, because you do not adhere to this particular article, right? So I was chapter, chapter chapter 17. I forget the exact chapter, but they chaptered me out. But that was after about a year or so.
But when you're in theater, right?
No, I never went to theater. I never was in theater. I served during the first Persian Gulf, but I never had to go in theater. I was never sent to the sandbox.
Okay.
Yeah. And because I had only served about a year and some change on my actual enlistment, I never had my loan paid. I didn't qualify for anything. So the only benefits I get from being a veteran is I do get access to VA burial benefits, right? So when I die, I can get a VA tombstone, right? I get an Army placard on my grave, right? Okay. And that's it. When I got out, they gave me $123 and a SIA.
Okay. Right.
But they could not take away my knowledge though. And that's why I still use my veterans knowledge, the stuff I learned in boot, the stuff I learned about small unit tactics, about about survival and all that other stuff. I use all of that to teach my people. But no, I don't get any benefits from the Army except having had the pleasure of serving my country. That's it.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to check and love the show. I'm a new Twitter follower.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, it tripped me out because I was like, I saw you follow me. I was like, wait a minute, I thought you was always following me, but then I remembered you don't really fuck with Twitter like that. So I was like, my man's finally here. Cool. Yeah. But yeah, man,
I'm learning though. I'm learning. So I appreciate
Keep it up, fam. I appreciate you. Peace. Yeah, fam. I mean, look, do I have any bitterness about that? When I was younger, I did. As a matter of fact, when I was younger, I was out for about 2 years and I wanted to try to get back in. So I started getting back in shape and shit and trying to drop the weight so I could re-enlist to get back in the Army, right? I'm the 4th generation of my family that served in the military. Every brother black for the 4 generations have served in the military. I had a grandfather in World War I. I had an uncle that served in Korea and Vietnam. I had another uncle who was, my uncle's nephew, my uncle. So my great uncle served during Korea and Vietnam. I had another uncle that served, and then I served, right? So the military runs in my blood. But it was my honor. Right? Can't nobody tell me shit. People try to shame me. You ain't no place for a black man in the white man army. Fuck you. This is my country. This is the only home I know. Do I agree with everything and how it operates? Hell no. Which is why I'm a fucking political activist. But can't nobody shame me for having a desire to serve my people, to serve my nation. To be willing to put my life on the line for them. Fam, this is why people it messes me up. I don't understand the mentality that is afraid to risk for our people. Because I've been willing to fight, bleed, and die for my people ever since I was a man. Ever since the first moment I became a man. I only know how to be a warrior. And this is why I try to bring you guys calm, to bring you knowledge and information so that I can sharpen you to be the same warriors that I am. This is why I always tell you, my job as an angry black sheep is to make more marked blacks. It's not about me. It's about us. Fuck Bernard Sanders and the Branch Bernidians with that not me, us shit. We the original dreamers. Our justice claim cannot be about one individual or even a few individuals. It's going to always have to be about us. And the question that you all are going to have to answer is, what are you willing to put up? What are you willing to put up on the table? What of the gifts that our ancestors have given you are you willing to put up in the fight of our lifetime? That's the question you need to be asking. I can't answer that for you. I've answered it for me. There's nothing I hold back. I actually have to be forced to hold it back. I can't tell you how many times Miss Denny be like, okay, you need to be about teaching the people now, not picking up the gun. Right? I have to hear that from her every so often because I'll be ready to get it in. Family, I want to thank all of you. I love the shit out of y'all. If you don't hear from nobody else during your staycation, your stay in place, your quarantine, hear it from your man. I love you. You are worth fighting for. You are worth everything. Everything. Fam, I'm going to try as best I can to broadcast again next Saturday. The reason why the broadcasts are sporadic is because in line with the advice that I've given and continue to harp on, to work from home, to be at home, to stay at home, my broadcast space is now a workspace. Miss Denny works from home now. So she's here during the week, right? And she does not get off until past the time I would normally broadcast, right? So hump day is probably out for a minute, right? The sacrifices we got to make. Although I am going to start putting up little daily videos that you can comment on and things like that, that you can ask questions and stuff that I can follow up with on maybe a weekly broadcast on Saturday and things like that. I'm asking you in advance to forbear. These changes that are here affect us all, okay? And we all need to show each other grace. We all need to be mindful that the stress is high. If you got family members, don't beef with them. I gave Miss Denny pure hell yesterday. And I apologize to her today. Because even I, a warrior, sometimes look at the immensity of what we're facing and I get madder than a motherfucker. It's all right, fam, to feel how you feel. Some of us cry. Some of us are scared. Ain't no shame in that, fam, because bravery is not what you show when it's easy. Courage is what you show when it's hard. Your babies are at home. Don't be a hardship on your children. Play with your babies. You know what people talking about? Yeah, I got my babies on a strict curriculum. You know what? Your kids wasn't learning shit at them schools anyway. Play with your babies. Talk to them. Bang some pots. Make some noise. Play with some clay. Take the eggs out of the refrigerator and do math. All right? You know what I'm saying? You got a chance now to influence how your babies get down with their education. Make that shit fun for a change for them. They ain't having to be in there in them school buildings that look like fucking prisons. If you haven't taken a vacation, if you've been on your grind, on your hustle before the Rona, man, take a breather. Take a space to relax. Just play some fucking video games. Kiss your girl. You know that motherfucker who be sitting there on the couch that you ain't noticed because you've been working so hard? You know that she happens to like you, fam. Brothers, I know the sports thing is fucking with you. I've been watching these YouTube videos of marble races. That shit is low-key exciting. I'm rooting for the green marble. And the shit is dope. Fam, we gonna get through this shit. There ain't nothing we facing now we ain't never faced before. There ain't nothing we gonna go through that we ain't never gone through before. And if we play our cards right, if we dream big and act big and live big, we gonna come out the other side with big. You feel me? I know it, Alexis. I know it. He's been getting on your nerves. You know what? That's all right. It's a time for you to reconnect. This murder machine done broke up all our motherfucking relationships. So when we have to be around each other, we don't even know what the fuck to say to each other. Kiss your babies. Kiss your mates. Stay the fuck away from all the rest of us, though. Give me my 6 feet, nigga. I needs my social distance. But everybody else, hug them close. We gonna make it through this shit. We got work to do. Oh, I love it. Pretty Muslima said, energy on fleek. That's what I'm talking about. That calm warrior, beautiful scholar energy. That's what we need right now. Shit. Start baking loaves of bread. If you done what I told you, you got yeast and flour in there already. You don't have to go to the store to buy no motherfucking bread. Let's start making bread. Hell, I'm thinking about doing a loaf of bread or two sometime this week and just filming it and putting it up for y'all. Just so y'all can see how to make a loaf of bread. Each one, reach one, teach one. Social distancing don't mean we gotta be strangers. Hell, if you want my number, all you have to do is hit me up. blackoutcastmedia@gmail.com. You can call a brother. I'll chop it up with you till the cows come home. You know I likes to talk. Let all these other motherfuckers be out here panicking and all messed up. Pretty Muslima will tell you, she'd call me right now. If she wanted to, I don't have my phone on me. But if she was to call me after this broadcast, she knows she'd be able to talk to a brother. We are family. And like family, we are only as strong as our weakest link. So we need to support each other through the good times and the bad times. We need to start discussing ways and means to wring from these motherfuckers exactly what it is we need. Tim, did you try calling? Call right now. I'm not wrapping shit up. This is for them. Today's broadcast is for y'all. I might not get to talk to y'all for next week until next week. So if you want to call in, you got something to say, you want to talk, get at me. Okay, after Tam, Miss Denny, I'll wrap it up. Well, why are you telling me to wrap it up? Oh. Tam, you better make that call quick, dogs. But fam, I love y'all. If Tam don't call, that's fine. She knows she can call me. But fam, there we go. Sister, what it do? Salam alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, brother. How is everybody?
I have missed your ass. Woo! But I'm glad you're back.
I bet you did.
I'm glad
I missed
you
y'all
back.
too, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Talk to us,
It's a jungle
What's
out
good?
in these streets, man. Everybody is panicked. I don't really know. I mean, unless your immune system is compromised, then, of course, you should probably, be cautious, like extra cautious.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I'm pretty cautious anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's about washing your hands. It's about being conscious of what you're doing with your body parts when you're out in the public. And so that's what I do. That's what I do every day. And so I just might be doing hand sanitizer maybe twice as much, but I'm a hand sanitizer freak. Like, I don't overly use it, but I do use it a lot. I do DoorDash now, so I'm touching stuff all the time. Like, I don't know. Sometimes they don't want contact. I don't mind because I just use hand sanitizer. Like, I think it's kind of rude for me to be like, well, you know what? I don't want to have no contact with you right now. I don't know. I always feel some type of way.
I get it.
When they request it, but I understand. It's like, okay, I get it. But at the same time, if something is going on, I did just touch your bag. So how do you make me leave it when I touched it already?
Yeah.
And you're going to touch it.
Yeah.
So, some of it is just kind of like, come on now.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
gonna
it's
be like
basic
a
common
30-second
sense.
situation.
It's basic common sense, Tam. Like you said, wash your
You know,
hands. Be mindful of who you around. Don't be around people that are coughing and sneezing. Like this is basic stuff. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
basic. But I always say too, the stuff that they tell you in the media, that's for those other people. Black people are smart. We don't need all that, okay? And we're not nasty like that. I'm sorry.
Do you
So
hear me
mostly
saying?
to me, that's not for us. I'm sorry. And I miss y'all too, Black Man 903. I did. But you know, I've been getting myself together. I'm real spiritual, so I fast a lot. And so I just really been in prayer. That's what's been going on with me.
Yep.
So I'm in a much better space. That's why, you know, it's calm around my house. Because I'm actually fasting right now. I popped in because Miss Denny checked on me. She sent me a text message like, hey, this coronavirus is going on, seeing a smoke signal, something.
Yeah, exactly. Let us know you still with us, fam.
Let us know you okay. But I'm just saying, I'm glad she texted me. You know, Brother Mark, you and Miss Denny can call anytime.
Oh, for sure.
You
Now
know,
you
like
know
the
I'm not a
offer is
phone
up for
guy.
y'all as well.
You know I'm not
Y'all
a
can
phone
call
dude.
me.
I will answer calls, but I don't usually make them. That being said, you know, I'm asking for grace, but Miss Denny don't mind chopping at all. So y'all, if y'all want to talk, we the household to talk to. I'll talk to you once I got you on the phone, but I don't usually call. Miss Denny and them will tell you I don't call them, and I live with them, right? But I'll talk to any of my people anytime for any reason. I don't care what it is, because we need that.
I feel like I called you and you didn't answer my call. You usually call me back though.
Tam, you always be chewing on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you my drill instructor, dogs. I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying, Drill Sergeant? I got you. I'm out of pocket. Ma'am.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hey, I'll admit I needs my
Well,
tooling up. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem taking my instructions. If I'm out of pocket, I needs to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So
you know I don't mind.
I know you don't mind. You know what I'm saying? But no, sister, I mean, the thing is, I appreciate what you were saying, that keeping your energy straight, right? You use fasting and prayer to keep your energy solid. I play a lot. Like, my family will tell you, we laugh so much around here, it's not even funny, right? We pet the dogs and we laugh and we tell jokes and we do stupid shit. We prank each other. Like, you gotta find
Yeah,
your.
look, we tell jokes too. Listen,
Oh yeah,
I'm funny, okay?
yeah.
We tell jokes up here. We are a comical family. Everybody in the family tell jokes. I roast everybody in the house like it goes down in my house.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, this
yeah.
place, it ain't safe. It goes down up in here. You're liable to get pranked by anybody. And it is what it is. Ain't no crying about it. Just take your L and keep it pushing.
Right, but can I just let the family know, like, you guys can find me on Facebook, like, same name, Pretty Muslima. If you want to just hit me up on Messenger, that is fine.
Yep.
Because I'm really not on YouTube these days. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't feed me anything, and so I just can't be on here like that. That's just where I'm at in my walk right now. So I love y'all, I do. But I had to pop in because Miss Denny told me that y'all was asking about me.
I appreciate you,
I
sister, and I'm glad. I'm glad that you and
Yeah.
yours are doing well. As you know, you always have my undying respect, care, concern. So I'm glad to hear that things are right where you at, and that you're doing the needful.
Toolbox. This is Pretty Muslim. It's me. It is. Hi.
Yep. Sister, I'm gonna go ahead and.
So, anyways, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk to you later, maybe. Can
of
I call
course,
you?
absolutely. Just hit me up.
Do you want me to call you tomorrow or something? First,
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do after this broadcast is done. First, I'm gonna eat because I'm hungry. But after that,
right.
Yeah, if you want to give me a call or something, it's all good.
Okay.
Love you, sister.
All right. Love y'all. Have a good night.
Peace. It's not my dog. My son's got a boxer sheepdog mix. It's his service animal, and she's dope. Her name is Nymeria, after the dire wolf in Game of Thrones, and she's a goddamn begging little skimp who I can't wait to die so I can wear a pelt.
What the hell?
Okay, I'm kidding. I love the shit out that dog, but don't tell her that though, cause I be terrorizing that damn dog. You know what's funny though is I be trying to terrorize the dog. She don't care. Her tail be wagging. She know what it is. She know I ain't gonna harm a damn hair on her head. I ain't got no fucking credibility, fam. I ain't got no credibility around here. I'll be like, man, I'll fuck y'all up, and everybody be like, no, you won't. My family don't fear me. Some bullshit. My family do not fear me, fam. I can't put the boo down at all on nobody in here. You know what I'm saying? No. I am mean, but they don't buy it. Do you seem like the Grinchier I get, the more they be cracking up. They be like, that fool, he be all right. He gonna go in there watch a YouTube video. He's straight. Familiarity breeds contempt, fam. I love y'all, man. And you know what? Like I said, fam, this is the energy we need right here, right? The laughter, the joy. My mama always used to tell me, shout out to the little fat. Don't let nobody steal your joy, fam, because they didn't give it to you. We have to lean on the wisdom of our ancestors, fam. This real talk. Before I go, lean on the wisdom of our ancestors. Not everything they said was bullshit. You feel me? Not everything they told us was a joke. Sure, all of that work hard, get a job, and the white people are respect. Nah, that was bullshit. We know now that that's bullshit. But there was a lot of wisdom our ancestors gave us that serve us in times like these. Don't let nobody steal your joy, fam, because they didn't give it to you. You are the pinnacle of your ancestors' dreams. You the apple of their eye. And our ancestors didn't make no junk. You feel me? Let everybody else panic. Let them fools act stupid. Remember, fam, in the land of the blind, what is it? The one-eyed person is king. Let us have two eyes. Let us understand clearly what the fuck is happening. Let us examine, not with no conspiracy theory shit to scare the hell out of each other, but with the real understanding so we know how to maneuver. Let us understand and gain discernment, and through that discernment, wisdom and the capability to act. If you don't learn nothing else, fam, during the era of the Rona, learn that, because that's a skill that's going to serve you in good stead through your whole life. Your life as an individual, your life with your family, your life as our brother and our sister and our tribe's person. So, fam, with that, I want to thank you all as usual. I've got the best damn herd of angry black sheep, probably the only herd on the planet. And I could not love y'all more. You know what I'm saying? Stay in touch with each other. Okay? Be that energy, be that uplift, be the wind beneath each other's wings. We live in a time of flux, of danger and opportunity. Let's protect each other from the dangers, right? Let's be that wolf pack. The lone wolf dies, but the pack survives, right? And let's look for the opportunities and let's maximize on those opportunities. You do that, fam, we're going to come out ahead of this shit. We're going to come out the other side of the Rona, bigger, badder, and better than ever. Don't let nobody tell you different. So, fam, with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you again, fam, for your time, for your love. We got this. All right? And so until the next time I see you and talk with you, as always, I want to wish you all love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our people.